Good morning, dear students. So we'll start the further part of network diagram in this session. Okay. So am I audible now? Can anyone please?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So this is the next problem which we are going to solve now. So read the conditions carefully. Here in this particular project, it consists of 8 activities that starts from M to T, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T. Okay. So based upon these activities, we need to draw the network diagram, right? So the first condition, there are 5 conditions, what you can see here. So we should satisfy these conditions and then we should draw the network diagram. Okay. So here, the first condition is activities M, N, and Q, they can start concurrently. Means the starting date of these 3 activities are similar. Okay. And they are going to start from the same node. And then O and P are concurrent and which are dependent on the completion of both M and N. So it's nothing but what? If O and P activities has to start, then M and N has to complete. So then only you can start this O and P. So this O and P are purely dependent on the completion of this M and N activities. If M activity is finished and N activity is pending, you are not supposed to start those O and P. So like that, they both are interrelated with these 2 activities like M and N. Okay, so that is the second condition. Once we solve the network diagram, that time you will come to know that how they are interrelated with each other. And third condition, activities R and S are concurrent and dependent on the completion of O. So here where exactly the O activity is going to be finished, that time you can start R and S. So simultaneously this R and S activities are going to start. Okay. And fourth condition, activity T is dependent on the completion of P, Q and R. So now T is successor activity for this P, Q and R, or P, Q and R activities are predecessor activities for this T. Okay. And last condition is the project is complete when S and T are done. So it's nothing but what? Here S and T are the last activities. They both completes the entire project. Okay. So that last node consisting of 2 activities, those 2 activities are like S and T. So these are the conditions. Now we are going to solve the network diagram depends upon this condition. Okay. You just note down this problem so that whenever I solve the problem, so that you can easily grasp the conditions, or else every time I need to go back and read the conditions, which is very difficult. Either you can take the screenshot of this, or better you should write this problem. I'll give you just 1 minute, just complete this. Those who are joining now, you can note down this problem so that we can solve as early as possible. If you take the screenshot again, you need to go back and you need to check that question, so that which is very difficult. So better you note down this problem. It will be much useful whenever I solve the problem on the next slide. So, can I start now? And every condition is most important thing. If you miss a single letter, such as this activity's name, which is very difficult to solve that network diagrams, because each and every activities are interrelated with one to another, so that you need to be very careful whenever you will read the question and whenever you will note down that questions in your book. Instead of M, if you wrote N, that entire network diagram will get wrong. Instead of P, if you wrote R, again it's the same thing. Yes, can I start now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So I'll move ahead with this slide. Now read out the first condition, that is activity M, N and Q can start concurrently. So at this part, I can write in this way. So activity M and activity N and activity Q. Okay. So this is activity M, activity N and activity Q. They are going to start concurrently. So means all these three activities start at the same node. Clear? So this is the first condition now. Okay. The first condition is satisfied. So read out the second condition, that is activities O and P are concurrent and depends on the completion of both M and N. So here other two activities will come, such as O and P. So they are concurrent, means they have to start simultaneously, but the condition is, that is, depends on the completion of both M and N. So after completion of this M and N activity, after completion of this M and N activity, those two activities are going to start. So here, how I will draw the network diagram, just look at here. So here, how I am drawing the network diagram, just look at here. So this is M and this is N and this is Q. Okay. This is M and this is N and this is Q. They are going to start concurrently. So now what I am going to do, this activity O and P are starting concurrently. So O and P are starting concurrently in the sense, first I am drawing O activity here, right? This is O activity, and the condition is they had to start concurrently. Correct? So concurrently in the sense, either you can draw like this, such as O and P activity, and the conditions what you need to give, they are interrelated with each other, means by completion of this O and P activity, so it is about to start. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, for O activity I'm going for M here, means, and N activity and N activity Okay. So now what I'm doing here, just look at the screen. Now O and P activities are starting concurrently, but they are dependent on M and N, the completion of M and N. So what I'm going to do here, so this is O and P activities are starting concurrent, means they are not concurrent right now. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the dummy activity here. So dummy activity, I can denote it by dotted line. So by using this dummy activity, just satisfy the condition now. So now O and P are starting concurrently, means by using this dummy activity, so it's like what? They are starting concurrently now. So it's like a single node now. But you cannot show the single node here because two activities are reaching at the same node and they are starting at the same node. It is not possible like this. So you cannot give M and N activities for the same node. So M and N. So this is entirely wrong thing. Okay. So as per the rules and regulations of the network diagram, so two nodes, it won't start at the same node and it won't end at the same node. Okay. I mean the another node. So for these conditions, we have provided the dummy activity by using the dotted line. So by using this dummy activity, I can say it as this O activity is starting by completion of M activity. So that is directly related with this O and M. By using this dummy activity, we can say that O has to start by finishing M and O has to start by finishing N activity, just by using this dummy activity. Okay. And similarly, P is about to start, I mean P activity has to start by finishing both M and N, because this O and P are has to start by completion of M and N. So to satisfy that condition, what I'm going to do here, so I have provided the dummy activity. Now I can say that P activity has to start by finishing both M and N. So now N, it is directly related with P, and M, which is indirectly related with P by using this dummy activity. Okay. So I can write the second step in this way. So till now it's understood how to provide the dummy activity. Just to, I told the same thing about the dummy activity, where exactly we need to use this particular dummy activity. Whenever we need to adjust the network diagram and whenever we need to satisfy the conditions, that time we can provide these types of dummy activity. And here dummy activity, not only we can provide here, we can provide in other way also. Now you understand about these things, and again you can try for other type of the network diagram, means you can provide dummy activity in other modes also. So just you try it once, we'll cross verify after this session. Okay. So this is the second condition, that is, this is the first one and this is the second condition. And now the third condition, how exactly it will be? Activities R and S are concurrent and they are starting concurrently. So activity. Okay. So for that, how I can write? Just look at here. So first steps are similar. This is activity M, activity N, and activity Q. And now by using this dummy activity, both are concurrent, that is activity O and activity P. Okay. So now the next condition is what? You need to draw compulsorily arrow mark for each and every activity here.
No, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Screen is
screen
not
is not
visible.
screen is not visible, sir.
Screen is not visible. So 1 minute. Okay, now it's visible. So I request the students not to share your screen, because while solving the problem, if you share the screen, so my screen will get off here. So kindly follow the procedure. Now it's visible.
No, sir.
Yes, okay, fine. So, so by using the third condition, that is activities R and S are concurrent and depends on the completion of O. So now the R and S activities are concurrent. So I can write activity R and activity S here. Okay. So they are starting concurrent just by finishing this O activity. The third condition is satisfied now. Understand how we are dividing that entire network from each and every step. I mean, for each and every conditions, how exactly we can draw this. So initially you can draw this in the same way so that the things it won't get confused. Whenever you need to rearrange the diagram, it will be very useful to do in this way. Okay. So now the condition 4, that is activity T, that is depends on the completion of P, Q and R. Okay. So now you can see here activity, okay, activity P is here, activity Q is here and activity R is here. So in between that this S activity is coming. So what I am going to do, this S activity I am shifting at top and R activity I am shifting down. So wherever you can provide, as we have discussed in the rules and regulations of the network diagram, you can make this one as S and you can make this one as R. So no doubt in that. So both gives the same meaning. Okay. So now because whatever the next activity is coming, for that activity this R, P, Q and R are the predecessor activities. Okay. So just by finishing these three activities, that is activity P, activity Q and activity R. Okay. So for this, what I'm going to do, just I'm shifting this activity from top to bottom, similarly vice versa. So the next part is like what, the fourth condition, how I'm drawing activity M, activity N, so this is activity N and one more, that is activity Q. Okay. So now this is activity O and this is activity P. And now instead of providing S activity here, yes, and this is R. Okay. So this is R activity. So just I have re-altered these things. It's not with the step 4. Just I have rearranged this one from S and R. Okay. So now the condition, what it is there in the fourth, in fourth condition, what it is there, activity T is depends on the completion of P, Q and R. So this is activity P's end part and this is activity Q's end node, and similarly this is activity R's end node. So now in yesterday's problems, what we have said, suppose think that this is T activity now. So somewhere it will come here. This is T activity. So this T activity stands for what? This T activity has to start by finishing R, P and Q. That is P, Q and R activity. So what I'm going to do, whatever the P, Q and R nodes are ending, so they are the starting part of this T activity. I mean the starting node of this T activity. So directly what I'm going to do, I'm clubbing this node and here from here and this like this. So P, Q and R activities are the after completion of this P, Q and R activity, this T activity has to start. Clear? So for T activity, P, Q, R and are the predecessors activities. That's nothing but what? This activity T, that is depends upon the completion of this P, Q, and R. So now I am clubbing these nodes into one node. So there are three nodes for three different activities. So they are ending with the same node so that it can start with the next activity, that is T. So as per the fourth condition, I can write in this way, that is, this is activity M, this is activity N. So here we should provide dummy activity, that is most important. Okay, and here activity, and this is activity. I can write in this way so that it will come till at the end of the T activity. Okay, so this is activity M, activity N, and activity Q. And now from 3 activity, this is activity O, and from here first activity will go as S and one more will go as T. So I can directly join here. Okay, so this is R and this is S, sorry, S is here and this is P activity. Okay, so now I can write the T activity here. So now just to check with, for this fourth condition, you just check with all the conditions from first four. First condition is activity M, N, and Q can start concurrently. So activity M, N, and Q are starting concurrently, means it starts from the same node. So first condition is satisfied. And second one is activity O and activity P are starting concurrently, and they are,
dummy activity.
yeah, I'm providing that dummy activity. So this activity O and P, they can start concurrently, but they are dependent on the completion of this M and N. So just by providing this dummy activity, I can satisfy that condition. So till now, the second condition is satisfied. And third condition is activity R and S are concurrent. So activity R and activity S, they are concurrent. So they are dependent on the completion of activity O. So this particular two arrow marks, it satisfied the third condition. Okay, and coming to the part 4, I mean the condition 4, that is activity T, which is dependent on the completion of activity P, activity Q, and activity R. So till now this condition is satisfied. Okay, and moving on to the next one, that is last condition, the project is complete when S and T are done. So here S is done, S activity and T activity. The last condition, that means what? There are two activities, they are about to end that particular project. So here S and T are the two last activities that completes the entire project. So what I am going to do, as per the conditions and rules and regulations of the network diagram, only one node which is going to be there at the end part of the project. So this S and T, I mean the end node, I'm going to club in this way, S and T. So I can make a single node by clubbing these two nodes. Okay, so in this way, this is S and this is T. Okay, this is S and this is T. So by I am joining these two nodes into a single node, and then I can satisfy the last condition. Okay, so it's understood now. Initially it feels bit difficult to rearrange the network diagram, but when you start practicing the network diagram problems, easily it will be understanding to you. So if you don't practice, again, which is very difficult to rearrange the network diagrams, and you don't come to know that how exactly you need to provide the dummy activity and how exactly you need to club the nodes. So clubbing nodes is most important thing here. So you're not supposed to provide the extra nodes wherever which is not necessary. Okay, so might be you can ask, sir, we can provide dummy activity here and I can club this node from here to here. So it's not possible. Dummy activity only it's useful where it's not possible to rearrange the network diagram. So here, which is very difficult to rearrange the network diagram, so we have provided this dummy activity at the second part. Okay. So finally, how exactly we can draw the network diagram means it comes in this way. Okay. So finally, this network diagrams, it comes in this way. Okay. So this is the first activity, that is activity M, and this is activity N, and this is activity, M, activity N, and activity Q, and then activity O will come in this way, that is activity O, and this is, here I can provide dummy activity. So I will rearrange this. Activity M, this is activity N, and this is activity Q, and now this activity O will be there, activity O, and this is activity P, so directly it connects from this node to this. Okay, so just I will erase this. Okay, this is activity N, this is activity O, and this is activity P. Now this R is going to connect from here to here. This is activity R, and then the next two activities will come in this way. That is, this is activity T, and this is activity. Actually, it should come with a straight line. So due to the notepad, so it is difficult to draw the straight line. So just make sure this is activity. Yes. Okay, just to note down this final diagram of network. Yes.
Dummy activities. Second point.
I will provide this. Okay. Thanks for remembering that. So this is dummy activity so that it can satisfy the second condition. So here dummy activity I can denote by circle, and within that one more circle. So this dummy activity does not carry any resources and it does not carry any duration. So duration will be 0 here. Clear? Means you will understand that dummy activity's importance when you will calculate the time estimates. Okay, so you just note down this network diagram and just to cross check with the conditions whatever we have given in the question. Okay, so now you can just give the numbers for this. node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4. This node numbers you can give randomly, that is nowhere dependent on the activities here. But when they have given the node numbers, that time you need to arrange the node network diagram and activities as per the node numbers. For example, in yesterday's problems we have solved those things, that is jobs as well as the identification. So their identifications, that purely depends on the relationship between from one activity to the other activity, like this. So here, so in this part, this identification that gives what, these identification numbers are the node numbers. Okay, so this 1 to 2 that indicates activity A. So that time you need to provide node 1 to 2 for only for A activity. You can't give randomly to those numbers. Okay, so it's finished now. I inform to every students just to practice these network diagrams once or twice, because whenever we will solve the further problems which states that time estimates, so that time you should not feel any difficulties while drawing the network diagram. So make sure that you need to practice this at least once or twice, so that the things will get clear. So make sure that whatever the conditions they will be giving, that conditions has to satisfy. So like that you need to draw the network diagram. Okay, so moving on to the next part, can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So moving on to the next problem, that is problem number 4. So here you need to solve this problem number 4, so that the things will get easier to you. Okay, so this project has 14 activities, that is activities A to N. Okay, so this slide is visible now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So this project has 14 activities A to N, and the relationship which obtain amongst these activities are given below. So whatever the conditions they have given, so they are in this way. That is, A is the first operation, B and C can be performed in parallel and are immediate successor to A. So here, just randomly I can draw the first condition, that is here A is the first activity, so I can start in this way. That is the first condition. And now B and C can be performed in parallel, means they are concurrent activities and they are immediate successor to A. So after completion of this A activity, this B and C can start. Okay, sorry, this B and C can start this. And third one is D, E, F, that follows B. Means for B activity, D, E, F are the successor activities, or else for D, E, F activities, B is the predecessor. So like that I can provide D, E, F. Okay, this is D, this is E, and this is F. So like that you need to do with all this. I mean, you need to satisfy all these conditions, so that you will learn how exactly the network diagram will get formed by adjusting the nodes and by providing the dummy activity. Okay. So just erase these things. Okay. Or else I will just share this problem in the WhatsApp group, so that you can just copy that and you can start preparing the network diagram. So I am going to send that network diagram problem in WhatsApp group. Just you can start that. Okay, so you can check the WhatsApp group. So I have sent that question. So you can start preparing or start drawing the network diagram based upon those conditions. Okay, so if any difficulties, you can ask me here. I'll just give you 5 to 10 minutes so that you can finish that. Actually, which is bit lengthier one. So you just try how much it is possible to you. Later, I can solve and I can share that one in the WhatsApp group so that you can just cross verify those things. Okay, take your time and solve that problem, and you can share that one to my WhatsApp account so that I can check and let you know whether it is a correct or wrong. Okay, so I'm going to end this class. Just put your attendance. And if any difficulties, you are free to ask the questions. You can ask either through message or either through call. Okay. Just put your name and USN, and I will check those who are sending those answers after solving that problem. Yes, give your attendance. Vishwanath Alur, Sagar Talwar, Prem Kumar, Vishwanath Madwar. So I'm going to disconnect this. Shakir Hussain. And this shows your presence, active presence in the class. Shakir Hussain and Kardaya, be active in the class.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Kardaya, you can give your attendance and leave the meeting.
Okay, sir. Okay.